Hi everyone. Today I'm going to give you a quick tour of the Meredith Group Research Lab. And so we are located in the Ford Environmental Science and Technology Building, Ford ES&T, on the first floor. And so this is a quick look at what the hallways look like. And so the Meredith Group generally has a few different research thrusts, including soft materials, polymer processing, with a special focus on bio-based materials. So for example, for packaging applications, chitin and cellulose are one of the key focuses right now in the Meredith Group. And so what we can see here is one example of that. Taking a peek into our office space. Right now it's spaced out for social distancing. Only one person in at a time. Say hi to Tanner.
Hi, everybody.
And you can see there's about space for 4 people in the office to work pretty comfortably. So now let's go into the lab. So right now our lab's a little bit small, but there's plenty of work that is done here. So on the left here we can see some dry storage for our starting materials for the bio-based applications. So we see what looks like some wood chips over here, as well as a shellfish mixture for where the chitin is sourced. So that's a mixture of crab shells, lobster shells, and shrimp shells. We also have some cellulose nanocrystals and nanofibers in here as well. And so since we need to process those pretty heavily to clean everything and get it to the final application, we have a lot of separation equipment, such as the centrifuge here, sonication, and we have a general workup hood here where most of our reaction and polymerization is dealt with. So here you can also see that there's some desiccators for storing samples at a given relative humidity, and some sieves with some crab shells used for separation as well to get particle size control. We also do most of our processing in this lab too. So in this hood, some of the materials are spray coated into thin films, and so we see that here. And we also have a blade coater back there that I'll show you a little bit later. To test our films, some of the people in our group use gas barrier measurements. So these two, you can stick a film in there and basically test how oxygen or water will transmit through your film. And of course, that's a very important property for packaging design. On the right here, you see a microscope. We have fluorescent capabilities on this, as well as an XY stage, as well as a UV vis spectrometer. And so another expertise within the Meredith Group is actually high throughput experimentation. And so we have a lot of custom equipment that is custom programs to take measurements or characterization at a very high rate. And so this is our custom HT-MEC instrument, high throughput mechanical characterization. And so if you are familiar with mechanical characterization, you might be familiar with how long it usually takes to stretch a film and measure the tensile strength. And here, instead, you can put a single film here, and a needle can poke through a grid structure and take many measurements at once. Similarly, we also have a high throughput connectivity analyzer, and so it will do the same thing for if you're interested in the electronic properties as well, which some are in our group. Here we have a goniometer, which can measure surface energy or wettability of surfaces and solutions of interest, as well as an interferometer for spectroscopic measurements as well. On the left side of the lab here, we have a flow coder. which is capable of actually mixing solutions together in order for it to blade coat a film. So these two pumps can control the flow rates of two solutions, pump them into this mixing module, and then ultimately blade coat them onto the stage where you can get a nice film. And we also have here ultrasonicator and some other equipment. And so that is most of the Meredith Lab. There is some other facilities in Barnard Henry as well where we have a homogenizer. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in to this quick overview of the Meredith Lab.